Well, another one bites the dust. Another relationship down. Oh well. Trying to make it work though. As everybody's been wondering where I've been. It's been going through a lot here lately. For 2 years now, I haven't been posting that much, and it's mainly because I've been distracted. Uh, 2 years ago, we decided to get a house with the person that I thought I was going to spend the rest of my life with, but we made an arrangement to keep the house up, and they let animals destroy it. And it's just found out we were raised two different ways. It was just it's not my fault. It's not her fault. We were both at a susceptible time in our lives, and when we met and hooked up with one another, then we had a kid, and things kind of built from there. And then, you know, we rushed things a little bit, but that's all right. Mistakes were made on both parts. It just got to a point where I wasn't myself no more. Heck, I was having to smoke weed all the time because I was just so stressed out because we made an arrangement to move into a house and they let animals destroy it. And yeah, I understand that we were going to replace things and stuff of that nature, but I like to keep a house nice. I was raised to keep what you have nice. It may not be the nicest thing in the world and what exactly we wanted at the time, but it was still something that, you keep nice and you do. And they thought that just replacing the household or replacing it and down the road was just going to solve and fix everything when I just wanted everything to be good and fine for our son. And that was the main reason we got the houses for our son. And animals, they kept pissing and shitting all over the place and walking through it, getting up on counters, and it just, and then a flea infestation. And I started smoking weed. I mean, because it was getting too much to bear. It was getting to the point I was angry when I come home and have to pick up 5 to 10 spots on the floor and see the damage that was done for the day. And it was smoke weed so I could go to bed at night because I didn't feel like I was a walking buffet as soon as I laid down. I mean, because it was true. As soon as I laid down in bed, I was getting eaten up by fleas, and it became too much to bear with 8 cats and a dog, and then plus others had cats in the house, at least 3 per room. And then also on top of that, we had she had a daughter, and they were just raised in a completely different lifestyle than I was, and had boys staying over the night in their teenage years, and that went against my codes. But it seemed like they didn't care. It just it was heartbreaking. And yeah, it pushed me to my limits and to my edges, especially when the dog nipped our son. And I think that was the straw that broke the camel's back. It wasn't the first time. I was raised differently. If an animal hurts your loved one, you get rid of it. You put it down. That's how I was raised. And then I couldn't. And then it did happen again. Just like I warned them about an incident with a coffee table, and they didn't listen, and my son got hurt. And it's heartbreaking. It became maddening. And not only that, I had the stressors of all that on top of me wanting to try to get things done to make sure that we can get those improvements done as fast as possible. So I was stressing myself hard, seeing all the damages pile up around the house, and then seeing everything that was going on and wanting to fix things, that I was pressing myself hard to get a job. And with a background, it's reminded me of a past. So it was stress atop of stress. And it just became overbearing. And the bullet points. And we had 3 to 4 major arguments. And it was nothing physical, but it was very verbal. I will granted that. It was very verbal and bad on both parts. Because I thought they understood me and they understood where I was coming from. And when I explained why I was so stressed and stuff, they would always sit there and agree and say, "Oh, it's okay. We understand." But if they did, things would have changed. And I admit, in hindsight, I should have called it quits a long time ago because it was never going to change. It was never going to change because I was wanting to keep a two-parent family household and not have raise a child in separate homes, and it looks like that's the way it's going to be, on a path that I didn't choose. I tried my best. At least I can say that. There's just different philosophies on life, and it was stressful. And now that it's over, it's been over for a few months now. And it's just, I've been a heck of a lot better. I mean, I miss my son. I mean, I don't get to spend as much time with my son as I do. And I will always miss my son. But my heart and soul is always with him, no matter where he is. And even though we have a differences of lifestyle, I know she's a good mother and he will be taken care of. I mean, there is some worrisome things, just like they have worrisome things about me because they say I have a temper, and then they wonder why after all that. I mean, come on. The cats were pissing on a stove where you turn it on, you smell nothing but ammonia throughout the house. You couldn't cook a meal without smelling it. You can't walk into the house and you got so used to the smell of ammonia and cat piss, because that's what cat piss is. And for 2 years I tried, and I really tried because I wanted that future. I wanted things to work out. I wanted them to get the picture and say, okay, well, we want this to work too, and then work towards what they said that they understood, but it never happened. Oh well, it is what it is. And now here we are going through custody and all that fun stuff. And it'll be okay. Everything will turn out fine in the end. It's just one of those things that just, we went too fast, and we had different lifestyles, and we should have realized that before having a kid and everything. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that I regret having my son. No, by no means necessary. My son is the best thing that's ever came out in this world to me, and I will always be appreciative of that. And now that it's over, I don't smoke weed no more. I'm a heck of a lot better moods. I hardly ever get upset anymore. I mean, hardly ever. I mean, I get upset because I miss my son, but other than that, no, I don't get upset at all. Yeah, it's like a completely two different worlds, and now that I've been separated from that world that I was forced to be living in, or trying, not forced, I was trying to live in to make work, to the world that I've grown up in, everything's so much better. And I feel so relieved. So much stress has been lifted off my shoulders, so much concern. And now that I've got a full-time job, because I was pressing myself really hard to get into a full-time job when I was there, because I wanted to fix the things that were going wrong, and I wanted to fix it now. And now that I have the full-time job and the position and the money to do what needs to be done, and of course when everything seems to be going great, as soon as I got the great job and I was like, all right, things are going to be better now, that's when everything blew up and they decided to leave. But that's okay. That's okay. I will envision and have the vision that I deem necessary for having a safe environment for my son, and that will come true. And I'm going to make sure of that. If I don't agree with the lifestyle, letting animals do as they please, crap and pee anywhere they want to, in the tub, down the AC vents, on your stove eyes. I don't agree with having an animal around that is potentially dangerous to a child, especially when it's food aggressive and has nipped them twice before. But that's their lifestyle, and they're free to go on about their life and find their happiness and live their life. The only thing I'm going to be concerned about is my son and his safety, and know that she's at least good enough and caring enough to, be a good mother, to be a truly good mother. And she is. She's a good person. She has a good heart. A little bit too good. I mean, she's been taken advantage of by so many people inside of her life. Within the few years that we were together, it's watching it and trying to help out, and then trying to make her aware of it, and then being pushed aside and not being allowed to have the responsibilities. But it just, like I said, it became overbearing. And I couldn't stand it, and that good naturedness of hers became almost a hindrance. I wish her the best. I do, and I hope she finds happiness. It can't be with us together. I know it can't be with us together, and unless things change drastically with her, or according to pets, and her being more, let's put it this way, more assertive with her life and take up for herself, then I could never see it working out between us two. And she doesn't want that path. I know she doesn't, so I know it's not going to work out in between us. Maybe, who knows? Maybe things will change down the line. Maybe our paths will align once more again later on down the road. But until then, we will do what we got to do. I will do what I got to do, and I will ensure that my son has a safe place, a clean place for him to come and visit his father and stay with his father, and animal free, feces free, flea free, and a good place for him to have a home. And he will always have a home. I will fix up the home that I have, and I will leave it to him in my will. That way when I pass away, he will always have a home no matter what happens. And as far as the rest of them go, I hope they enjoy their lifestyle. And like I said, I hope they find happiness. But like I said, it is what it is. But anyways, I'm Mr. Anger. I know it's been a while since I've been on here, and I do apologize, but I'm getting ready. Things are about to change. I'm about to go and get things taken care of, and I'm going to be posting more videos and content on here for you guys. I am back to the person I've always been, and that's Mr. Anchor. Now, y'all have a good one, or be good at it.